Okay, so imagine a fruit, but not just any fruit.
Oh boy.
I want you to picture a piece of citrus that's the size of a bowling ball.
A bowling ball.
Seriously, if you drop this thing on your foot, you'd need an ice pack. It's got this rind as thick as a winter coat, it smells amazing, and it tastes like a grapefruit that went to finishing school.
So sweeter, milder.
Yeah, way sweeter, and none of that face-scrunching bitterness.
It sounds like you've been spending some time in the exotic produce aisle again.
Guilty as charged. I'm talking about the Pomelo Citrus Maxima.
The grandfather of the grapefruit.
Exactly. And it is having a huge moment right now in U.S. grocery stores. It's big, it's trendy, and I mean, my entire social media feed is hailing it as the next great superfood.
It is impressive,
Yeah.
anatomically at least. But if you look past the Instagram pictures, the pomelo is, well, it's arguably one of the most chemically complex fruits you can put in your shopping cart.
And that's exactly why we're here. Because
Yeah.
we usually think of fruit as this universally harmless thing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, what's the worst a fruit can do? Get a seed stuck in your teeth or, I don't know, stain your shirt.
Yeah.
But in the world of pharmacology, this giant citrus is a heavy hitter. It's not just a snack, it's a biological agent that can completely hijack your body's ability to process medicine.
That is a very dramatic way to put it, but honestly, you're not wrong.
I try. Welcome to the Deep Dive Lab, everyone. Today, our mission is to peel back that thick skin of the pomelo. We're going to look at its duality, the Dr. Jekyll side, where it's a nutritional powerhouse.
And the Mr. Hyde side, where it becomes a medicine cabinet saboteur.
Right.
And we're basing this deep dive on some pretty rigorous data. We've pulled from exhaustive literature surveys on these interactions, including specific clinical trials published in journals like Clinical Pharmacology and Therapeutics.
And the Journal of Clinical Pharmacology, we're going to separate the marketing hype from the clinical reality.
Let's do.
So let's start with the good news, the Jekyll side. Because if you just look at the nutrition label, the pomelo looks like an absolute champion. I was reading one fruit, granted they're huge,
Well, they are massive.
but one fruit packs something like 400% of your daily vitamin C.
It does. It's a nutritional heavyweight.
Yeah.
And beyond the vitamin C, which is obviously great for immune support, you're looking at significant amounts of potassium,
Okay.
about 25 to 30% of your daily needs, plus a good dose of copper. It's low calorie, high fiber. I mean, if you're a healthy person taking no medications, it's a fantastic addition to your diet.
And this is where that whole superfood buzz starts, right?
Okay.
I found all these articles claiming pomelo cures obesity, heals wounds, fights diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
But when I looked at the source material you sent over, I started noticing a pattern that the blogs conveniently left out.
There's always a catch. The devil is in the details, or in this case, the peel.
Okay, let's unpack that, because the study everyone cites for weight loss, this was in PLOS 1, they took mice, put them on a high-fat diet.
Basically, the mouse equivalent to fast food 3 times a day.
Right, and then they gave them pomelo.
And the results looked really promising. It blunted weight gain, lowered cholesterol, and improved their insulin resistance. It upregulated these pathways, things like PPR-alpha and GLUT4, which are basically metabolic regulators.
So hearing that, my first thought is, great, I'll eat a pomelo salad and cancel out my cheeseburger.
If only. If only were that simple. But look at the methodology of the study. They didn't feed the mice the fruit salad.
No.
They fed them a concentrated extract made specifically from the peel.
Wait, the rind, that massive, thick, spongy white stuff.
Repair carved, yes.
I mean, I've peeled one of these. That rind is like wearing a bicycle helmet. It's an inch thick, and it tastes like bitter styrofoam.
That is a very accurate tasting note.
Mm.
But chemically, that bitter styrofoam is where the gold is. It's loaded with essential oils and flavonoids that you just don't find in the sweet, juicy pulp.
So to get the weight loss benefits from that study, I can't just eat the part I like.
Yeah.
I have to gnaw on the rind.
You would have to eat an ungodly amount of rind, yes, or, take a supplement derived from it. But the study showed that the metabolic pathways, the things that burn fat, were triggered by compounds that are either absent or in very low amounts in the part we actually enjoy eating.
Right, so mouse loses weight, eating concentrated peel extract turns into human loses weight, eating fruit salad in the headlines.
It's typical, precisely. And we see a similar thing with the wound healing claims. There was a study on diabetic rats where an oral peel extract accelerated wound closure.
It's fascinating science, but...
It's a huge leap to say eating pomelo will heal a cut faster.
Okay, so the superfood status is real, but mostly theoretical, unless you plan on eating the bitter bicycle helmet part.
Pretty much.
But now let's get to the scary part, the Mr. Hyde side. This is where the pomelo stops being a fruit and starts acting like a, what did you call it? A traffic cop in your gut.
A traffic cop that unfortunately goes on strike. Let's talk about the mechanism here. To understand why pomelo is dangerous for some people, you have to understand an enzyme called CYP3A4.
CYP3A4. Sounds like a droid from Star Wars.
It's less sci-fi, more biology. Just think of CYP3A4 as a garbage disposal system that's located in your intestines.
A garbage disposal. I like that.
Its whole job is to break down foreign substances, and that includes many medications, before they can get into your bloodstream. It's a safety buffer.
Hang on, I want to make sure I get this metaphor right. If my body is supposed to destroy half the drug, does that mean the drug companies know that? Are they overdosing the pill on purpose?
That is precisely it. They anticipate that tax your gut is going to pay. They know the garbage disposal, CYP3A4, is going to chew up a large percentage of the drug.
So they account for that.
Yes. They formulate the pill with enough active ingredient to ensure the percentage that survives the disposal is the correct therapeutic dose.
Okay, so it's a calculated loss. They send in 100 soldiers expecting 50 to make it through the lines.
Exactly. But here come the villains of our story. Furanocoumarins. Specifically, compounds with names that are a nightmare to pronounce, like bergamottin and coumarin.
Oh, this one. 6'7" dihydroxybergamottin.
Or DHB for short.
Let's stick with DHB. So pomelo is full of this stuff.
It is packed with it. In some varieties, even more so than grapefruit. And here's what DHB does. It acts as a mechanism-based inhibitor. It essentially throws a wrench into the garbage disposal.
It breaks it.
It breaks it completely. So now you take that same heart medication or immunosuppressant. The disposal's broken. Instead of 50% of the drug getting through,
100% of it floods into your bloodstream.
exactly, a standard dose becomes an accidental overdose. Instantly.
And we have clinical data on this. This isn't just mice anymore.
No, this is very clear human data. Let's look at a landmark study by Grenier and his colleagues, published in Clinical Pharmacology and Therapeutics back in 2006.
I have that one here. They use cyclosporine, right, which is a heavy-duty drug for transplant patients.
It is. It prevents organ rejection. So they took healthy volunteers and gave them cyclosporine. One group washed it down with water or cranberry juice. The other group with pomelo juice.
And the cranberry juice did nothing.
Totally neutral. But the group that drank the pomelo juice, their results were alarming. We look at a metric called the AUC, the area under the curve.
Which is fancy talk for?
Just think of it as the total amount of the drug that's floating around in your blood over a period of time.
Okay.
If the garbage disposal is working, that number stays low and safe.
And with the pomelo?
The garbage disposal broke. The total drug exposure spiked by roughly 30 to 40%.
Wow. So almost half again as much medication as the doctor intended. That sounds terrifying if you're an actual transplant patient.
It is clinically significant toxicity territory. You're looking at kidney damage, hypertension, neurotoxicity. And just to prove it wasn't just the juice, a later study by Ann Lamlert and others in 2015 focused on Thai men eating fresh pomelo pulp.
The part we actually eat.
Yes. They ate about 250 grams of pulp, a pretty standard serving, and it had the exact same boosting effect.
So it's not the concentration in juice. The fruit itself does it.
The fruit itself is more than enough to knock out those enzymes.
And this isn't just theoretical. You mentioned a case study about a renal patient.
Yes. This was reported by Igashira and colleagues. A kidney transplant patient came in for a routine check, and his levels of tacrolimus, that's another anti-rejection drug, were mysteriously sky high.
And he hadn't changed his dose?
Nope. He wasn't sick. The doctors were baffled.
Let me guess. He had a pomelo for a snack.
He'd eaten 100 grams of pomelo the day before. That's it, just a small bowl of fruit.
Wow.
The researchers were so intrigued they actually went into the lab, tested pomelo extracts, and confirmed it inhibits the enzymes just as potently as grapefruit. That one snack put him at risk of kidney toxicity.
That is wild. You eat a piece of fruit on Tuesday and your blood work is toxic on Wednesday. But this is where it gets really interesting or maybe confusing. Because up until now, the rule seems to be pomelo boosts drugs. It breaks the disposal, drug levels spike.
That is the general rule. Most of the time, that's what we worry about.
But then I saw this study on sildenafil, better known as Viagra, and this just completely threw me.
Ah, yes. The plot twist.
So based on what we just learned, if I take Viagra and eat a pomelo, I should technically get a superdose of Viagra.
You would think so.
Which honestly sounds like a medical emergency waiting to happen.
And that is what happens with grapefruit, actually, to a small degree.
Yeah.
But a study by Al-Ghazawi and his team, published in the European Journal of Clinical Pharmacology in 2010, found the exact opposite.
The opposite.
They gave healthy volunteers sildenafil with pomelo juice. And instead of the levels going up, the absorption actually dropped.
It's dropped.
The exposure to the drug fell to about 60% of what it should have been.
So it basically neutralized the Viagra.
It significantly dampened.
But how is that possible? If the garbage disposal, the enzyme is broken, shouldn't more get through? Why did less?
Well, this is what highlights how complex biology is.
Yeah.
We think pomelo affects more than just that breakdown enzyme CYP3A4. It likely also blocks a specific transporter, probably one called OATP.
Okay, we need another analogy.
Okay, stick with me here.
Mm-hmm.
If the enzyme is the garbage disposal, think of the transporter as a shuttle bus.
A shuttle bus. Okay, I'm with you.
The drug is sitting in your gut. It needs to get into the bloodstream. It can't just walk across. It needs to hop on the shuttle bus, the OATP transporter, to get carried across the intestinal wall.
Got it. So usually the drug hops on the bus, rides into the blood, and then has to dodge the garbage disposal.
Exactly. But with sildenafil, the pomelo does something different. It doesn't just break the disposal. It slashes the tires on the shuttle bus.
Oh, I see. So it doesn't matter if the garbage disposal is working or not because the drug never even gets to the building.
Precisely. The drug never makes it onto the bus, so it never gets into the system. It just passes right through you.
So if you mix pomelo and sildenafil, the drug might just stop working entirely.
Nice.
Awkward and chemically fascinating. It just shows that natural is unpredictable.
You can't just assume the interaction will always go one way. Sometimes it opens the floodgates, sometimes it wells them shut.
Okay, so we've got the Jekyll nutrition, the Hyde toxicity where it boosts drugs, and the plot twist where it cancels them out. For the listener standing in the grocery store right now, staring at this giant bowling ball of a fruit, what is the practical advice?
The safest, most evidence-based rule is what I call the grapefruit rule.
Which is?
If your pill bottle has a sticker that says, "Do not eat grapefruit," or if your pharmacist has warned you about it, that applies 100% to pomelo.
No exceptions.
No exceptions. They are chemical cousins. They share the same phenocoumarins. Don't think that just because the sticker doesn't specifically say pomelo, you're safe.
Can we run through a quick list? Who needs to be the most careful here?
Absolutely. The high-risk categories are, number 1, statins.
Yeah.
Specifically simvastatin, lovastatin, and atorvastatin. The risk there is serious muscle damage.
Okay.
Number 2, calcium channel blockers. These are very common heart and blood pressure meds.
Right.
Number 3, immunosuppressants, like we discussed. Cyclosporine and tacrolimus. This is critical for transplant patients.
And number 4.
Certain anti-anxiety meds in the benzodiazepine family, so things like Valium or Xanax, and some sleep aids.
That is a huge list. That covers millions and millions of people.
It does, and there are others, some cancer medications, some anticoagulants. If you are on a prescription, just check the label for that grapefruit warning.
Okay, now I have to ask the question everyone is thinking. The timing myth. I feel like I'm smart enough to hack this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just have my pomelo at breakfast at 8 a.m. and take my statin at dinner at 8 p.m., 12 hours apart? Surely that's enough time for the juice to clear out.
I am so glad you asked this because it is the most dangerous misconception out there. And I need to be very clear. The answer is an emphatic no.
Really? 12 hours isn't enough?
It's not even close. Remember how we said the phenocoumarins destroy the enzyme?
Yeah, the garbage disposal gets broken.
Well, your body can't just fix it instantly. Those compounds are what we call suicide inhibitors.
Suicide inhibitors, that sounds intense.
It is. They sacrifice themselves to permanently kill the enzyme. Once that enzyme is dead, your body has to build a brand new one from scratch.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about waiting for the juice to leave your stomach.
Not at all. It takes the human body about 48 to 72 hours, that's 2 to 3 days, to regenerate enough enzyme activity to get back to normal.
Wait, hold on. So 1 glass of pomelo juice on Monday morning?
Can still affect your medication on Wednesday night.
Yes, that is mind-blowing. 1 glass, 3 days of disruption.
Exactly. So spacing it out by a few hours does absolutely nothing. You really have to choose the fruit or the drug. You cannot have both in the same week, let alone the same day.
That is a buzzkill, but a life-saving one. I feel like that 72-hour rule is the kind of thing that should be printed in bold letters in the produce aisle.
It really should be.
So let's bring it all home. We've peeled back the layers here, pun definitely intended.
I was waiting for that one.
What are the big takeaways?
I'd say 3 main points. First, pomelo is a nutritional powerhouse. Vitamin C, potassium, it's great. But be skeptical of the headlines.
Right.
The miracle cures are mostly based on rodent studies using concentrated peel extracts. Enjoy the fruit for what it is, a delicious citrus, not a magic weight loss pill.
Don't expect to drop 20 pounds and definitely don't eat the peel.
Second, and this is the most important one, the chemical inhibitors are potent. They destroy gut enzymes. If you are on statins, immunosuppressants, or heart meds, this fruit is a legitimate clinical hazard. Remember the garbage disposal.
If the disposal breaks, the drug floods the house.
Exactly. And finally, point 3, it is unpredictable. As we saw with the Viagra study, it can boost a drug to toxic levels or block it from working entirely. You can't biohack your way around this.
It really changes how you look at the produce section. We tend to think of food as fuel and medicine as, well, medicine, but this deep dive makes it pretty clear that food is pharmacology.
That is the big picture takeaway.
Yeah.
What we eat interacts chemically with what we take. The pomelo is a stark reminder that natural does not mean neutral.
Just because it grew on a tree doesn't mean it plays nice with the pill that was made in a lab.
Well said.
Which leaves us with a provocative thought to chew on. We live in this era of biohacking, right? We're constantly introducing exotic new fruits and supplements to optimize our health. We want the superfoods. But how many of us are accidentally rewriting our own doctor's prescriptions without even knowing it? How many side effects are actually just salad effects?
That is a question worth asking your doctor.
Yeah.
Maybe worth checking your fruit bowl.
Huge thanks to everyone for visiting the Deep Dive Lab today. If you enjoyed peeling back the science of the pomelo, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss our next investigation.
Stay curious and read those labels.
See you next time.